What if the first 60 minutes of your morning could lower your risk of heart disease? Doctors say it can. And most people over 60 aren't doing any of these 7 habits. 7 morning habits. Official health guidelines. Designed specifically for adults over 60. We know mornings get harder after 60. Stiffer joints, slower metabolism, and disrupted sleep. That's exactly why this morning blueprint was built around what your body actually needs now. Habit number 1 genuinely surprises most viewers. It's simpler than you'd ever expect. And habit number 7 ties all the others together, making every habit easier to maintain. We'll also reveal which morning action peer-reviewed research specifically flags for older adults. Every habit in this video is grounded in guidance from major health institutions. Our sources: the CDC, National Institutes of Health, Mayo Clinic, and the National Institute on Aging. No gimmicks, no supplements to buy, just practical, evidence-based habits that take minutes. Stay with us through all 7, because the last one makes the first 6 dramatically easier. Habit number 1. And yes, it will genuinely surprise you. It starts tonight. While you sleep, your body loses some fluid through breathing and light perspiration. Every exhale releases moisture, though your body partially compensates through natural overnight hormonal mechanisms. Whether a meaningful deficit results by morning varies, but starting your day hydrated remains broadly advisable. Here is the surprising part. And the National Institute on Aging confirms it clearly. Research broadly shows aging can make thirst sensation less reliable, though no precise age cutoff is established. Measurable dehydration may exist with no thirst signal felt. Multiple peer-reviewed sources support this finding. Dehydration broadly associates with fall risk in older adults, though mild morning specifically needs more study. Correlation, not confirmed cause, but falls carry serious consequences, making this plausible link worth discussing with your doctor. Some studies and a meta-analysis associate dehydration with reduced attention and focus, though reaction time evidence remains weaker and mixed. Constipation, common after 60, associates with hydration, activity, medications, and other factors equally. Again, these are associations from population research, not guaranteed causes for every individual. Some health sources suggest a simple habit: a glass of water soon after waking, roughly 8 ounces, though the exact timing and dose lack strong clinical evidence. Warm water is perfectly fine, no lemon required. This is not a detox claim whatsoever. Important: if your doctor has you on fluid restrictions, kidney or heart conditions, ask first. This is a question for your doctor, not something to decide based on a video alone. Coming up next, what you eat after this directly determines how well your body responds. Habit number 2. And this one directly fights one of aging's most serious hidden threats. Muscle loss actually starts in your 40s or 50s, then accelerates after 60 into sarcopenia. Research strongly links sarcopenia to frailty. The NIA flags it as a major driver of disability. Sarcopenia strongly associates with falls and lost independence. Muscle strength matters as much as mass. One powerful defense is dietary protein, specifically how much you eat and when. Research suggests spreading protein across meals may support muscle rebuilding better than concentrating it at dinner. Though evidence is mixed, heavily dinner-loading protein likely reduces muscle-building signals at earlier meals. Proti-Age, widely cited in geriatric practice, emphasized total protein quantity. Some researchers also highlight distribution's importance. Some researchers suggest a protein-forward breakfast early after waking, though no formal guideline specifies a 90-minute window. Evidence supports roughly 25 to 30 grams per meal for muscle protein synthesis. Consult your doctor for personal targets. Great options: eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, complete proteins, plus beans and lentils, affordable plant-based choices. This range reflects clinical guidelines. It is not a personal prescription for your specific needs. Always confirm your personal protein target with your doctor or a registered dietitian. No morning appetite? Try a smaller portion. Even half the goal is better than skipping. Dental challenges? Soft options like yogurt, cottage cheese, or scrambled eggs work perfectly. Budget-friendly? Eggs are complete proteins. Beans and lentils are affordable plant proteins. Pair them for full amino acid coverage. One more connection. Protein metabolism depends on adequate hydration. Another reason, habit 1 matters. And what you do with your body right after breakfast multiplies this benefit. That's habit number 4. Habit 3 surprises many people. Because it costs nothing and takes under 20 minutes, we're talking about morning light and how it resets a biological clock inside your brain. Deep in your brain sits a tiny region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, your internal clock. Research suggests this clock gradually loses light sensitivity around ages 55-65, though human evidence is still growing. That reduced sensitivity is linked, not proven to cause, disrupted sleep, mood shifts, and immune timing. The NIA recognizes circadian disruption as a key aging concern. The CDC highlights broader sleep health risks. But here's the good news. Morning light exposure is one of the most powerful corrective signals available. Morning sunlight suppresses residual melatonin and signals your brain's internal clock to synchronize. Studies associate this morning entrainment with easier sleep onset that evening, though the link is largely correlational. Research suggests longer durations, often 30+ minutes, for strong circadian effects, though even brief outdoor exposure may help. Open sky or indirect outdoor light exceeds typical indoor levels, offering plausible circadian benefit, though evidence varies. A bright open window provides less light than outdoors. It's a weaker but still reasonable fallback option. Light therapy lamps are a clinically used option, but ask your doctor first, especially with certain conditions. That conversation matters especially for those with bipolar disorder or certain eye conditions. Ask your doctor. Some research links morning light exposure to lower depressive symptoms in older adults, though evidence is still emerging. These findings are correlational, not proven cause and effect, and most measure general light, not brief outdoor time specifically. Even combining your light exposure with a short walk layers habits 3 and 4 together effortlessly. And stay with us. Habit number 6 pairs directly with this one to protect your brain health. Habit number 4 addresses something most of us do automatically, and shouldn't. Most people wake up and move directly from bed to chair, couch, or breakfast table. That transition, bed to seated, is actually a pattern doctors and researchers flag. Prolonged, uninterrupted sedentary time across the day is linked to higher cardiovascular and metabolic risk. Peer-reviewed research flags reducing total sedentary time, though morning-specific risk isn't separately singled out. Their recommendations include flexibility and balance, not just aerobic or strength activity. There is also a real physiological reason mornings feel stiff. It is not just aging. Sleep triggers fluid shifts and inflammatory changes in joints, especially with arthritis, causing that familiar morning stiffness. Gentle cyclic movement may stimulate joint lubrication and warmth, easing stiffness, though evidence is strongest for arthritic populations. The habit is simple. Move before you sit. That is the whole rule. A slow walk around your home, even 2 or 3 rooms, counts fully. Chair-assisted leg raises, calf raises, and shoulder rolls are equally valid options. 5 to 10 minutes is a widely suggested starting point, though no guideline prescribes exact timing. The goal is simply avoiding sedentary behavior as the very first act of your day. If you have arthritis, recent surgery, or balance concerns, please ask your doctor first. They can confirm exactly which movements are safest for your specific situation. Remember the surprise teased at the start? We said habit 1 would genuinely shock you. The real surprise was this. Most seniors are chronically underhydrated without ever feeling thirsty. Published research supports this diminished thirst finding. A quiet risk many older adults never notice. Now habit 4 multiplies the benefit of that morning hydration through gentle circulation. Habit 5 is one most people overlook completely, yet doctors call it critically important. We are talking about taking your medications correctly, consistently, and safely every single morning. Older adults, especially those 75 and above, are far more likely to take 5 or more medications simultaneously. Clinicians call this polypharmacy, and research links it strongly to increased adverse drug events and hospitalizations. CDC-funded research found adverse drug events send nearly 100,000 older adults to emergency hospitals yearly. Many of those errors happen not from the wrong prescription, but from inconsistent daily habits. One supported step: take medications in good lighting. CDC consumer guidance highlights this for safer label reading. Clear lighting helps you read labels accurately and catch potential mix-ups before they happen. Weekly pill organizers show consistent evidence supporting medication organization and reducing dose errors. They also offer a practical visual check. Was this morning's dose already taken? Evidence is mostly observational. Now, some medications must be taken with food. Others require an empty stomach to work properly. We are not making those calls here. That is exactly the question to ask your pharmacist or doctor. Ask them specifically, which of my medications need food and which need an empty stomach? This connects beautifully to habit 2. Eating a protein breakfast naturally creates the right window. After breakfast is often the ideal moment. Consistent, anchored, and already part of your routine. One more high-value step. Keep a simple medication list, on paper or your phone, always accessible. In any emergency, paramedics and ER doctors will ask exactly what medications you take. That simple list, updated regularly, could be the most important piece of paper you own. Remember back in Habit 3, we promised that Habit 6 would protect your brain? Here it is. Habit 6. Make time daily for cognitively engaging activity. Reading, crosswords, journaling, or learning new words. The NIA links this to cognitive reserve, your brain's resilience buffer against aging. Cognitive reserve roughly means the brain's adaptability as natural aging and changes occur. The NIA associates mentally stimulating activity with reduced cognitive risk, though evidence is largely observational. Importantly, this is an association. Researchers are still studying the causal mechanisms, so we state that clearly. Morning may bring higher alertness after sleep. Though benefits vary, some studies suggest naps help most. Evidence is mixed. Sleep broadly supports cognition, but older adults show varied working memory responses individually. The practical takeaway: your brain may be at its sharpest in the morning. Use that window intentionally. What counts as cognitively engaging? Reading a book or newspaper is an excellent, well-supported starting point. Crosswords, word puzzles, and number games all engage multiple brain regions and require nothing but a pencil. Journaling, even a few sentences about yesterday, activates memory retrieval, language, and reflective thinking simultaneously. Learning a few new words in another language is another option. Novelty and challenge are key ingredients here. None of these require a smartphone, tablet, or subscription. Low technology is perfectly fine. Preferred, even. Now let's address a common misconception. Brain training apps alone do not prevent dementia. The evidence doesn't support that. The research shows broad cognitive engagement matters, not any specific product, app, or brand. Keep that distinction clear. Here's the connection back to Habit 3. Do your cognitive activity near a bright window to compound light exposure. 2 habits. 1 seat by the window. Your circadian clock and your brain both benefit at the same time. Frame this habit as something enjoyable, a treat for your mind, not a clinical obligation or extra chore. Even brief daily sessions of something you genuinely enjoy may help your brain stay engaged and resilient. Habit 7 ties all 6 together and makes them stick. Habit 7. This is the one that makes all the others dramatically easier to maintain. We're calling it the glue, because that's exactly what behavioral science shows it is. The National Institute on Aging explicitly flags social isolation as a serious, well-documented health risk. Studies associate isolation with cognitive decline, depression, and cardiovascular risk, though causality isn't fully confirmed. Some researchers theorize that lacking daily structure may worsen isolation's effects, though this link isn't directly tested. But here's what the research also shows. A single morning intention can shift that trajectory. Setting a purposeful intention activates a sense of agency, a feeling that your day has meaning. Multiple longitudinal studies link stronger sense of purpose to healthier behaviors over months and years. It's correlational, not causal, and mostly observed in middle-aged and older adults. But the pattern is consistent. The habit is refreshingly simple. No special tools, no lengthy routine required. Consider identifying one social or purposeful act you'd like to complete today. It could be as simple as calling a friend, writing a short letter, or visiting a neighbor. A volunteer task, a walk to the mailbox, or a personal goal. All count equally here. No technology required. A scrap of paper works just as well as any app or device. If persistent loneliness or depression is present, this habit complements, but does not replace, professional support. Please speak with your doctor or a counselor if you feel isolated most days. That matters enormously. Now here's why this is the glue. A social anchor makes your whole morning routine feel worth protecting. Routines built around connection are more likely to survive weeks and months, not just one day. Let's bring all 7 habits together into one simple, memorable morning blueprint. Habit 1. Some sources suggest drinking water upon waking. Ask your doctor what fits you. Habit 2. Evidence supports a protein-forward breakfast after waking, though the 90-minute window lacks formal guideline backing. Habit 3. Get morning light outside when possible. Longer durations appear more effective per research protocols. Habit 4. Authorities support brief, gentle movement in the morning. Specific timing remains a general guide, not a rule. Habit 5. Use good lighting for medications. Consistent timing aids adherence generally, though these are separate principles. Habit 6. Enjoy something cognitively engaging daily. Puzzles, reading, or journaling. Evidence supports the activity type. Habit 7. Nurture one social intention. A call, a visit, or a meaningful act today. None of these require equipment, a gym, or a dramatic overhaul of your life. None. Start with just 1 or 2 habits tomorrow. Build the rest in gradually, at your pace. Tell us in the comments, which of these 7 habits will you try first tomorrow morning? Subscribe for weekly evidence-based healthy aging content and share this with someone over 60. This video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always consult your doctor before making health decisions. We'll see you in the next one.